Let's just eat it off the bone. Yeah, that's really good. Annyeonghaseyo from Korea. Welcome to the next matchup. Today we're making Galbi-jjim. Galbi-jjim uses these. Galbi is the short rib, or the rib basically. It's a pretty simple recipe, but it does take a long time, and it does mean I'm stuck in the kitchen on a very hot day. So hopefully it doesn't get too much sweatier than I already am. Let's begin. The best thing about cooking Galbi-jjim is using fresh local ingredients. Use vegetables that you have on hand and have access to easily. The sauce is very easy to make as well, and you can substitute a lot of those ingredients. Now your galbi or your short rib, these days it's very expensive. Look how much this is. This is decreased from 60,000 won down to 35,000 won. That's still very expensive. That's why it's sort of a special meal in Korea. Now when you start to cook it, first thing you need to do is soak those ribs. Put them in water and let them sit for at least 30 minutes, even longer if you have time. But the best thing is, while they're soaking, you can prepare all the other ingredients. That'll save a bit of time. Our delicious sauce. It's so fun making this. You just get a bowl, throw the ingredients in, and it's very satisfying to see it all come together, and the smell, the soy sauce, your cooking wine, and the garlic mixing in. If you have some ginger, throw a bit of ginger in there. And if you have a bit of Korean pear, that's another good one to add. I didn't have access to that for this one, but I guarantee next time I make it, I'm going to use Korean pear. Give it a good mix and set it aside while we cut up the vegetables. That'll give a little bit of time for some of that sugar to dissolve. For the vegetables, there's only one important thing you've got to remember, and that is to take the edges off if you have time. That'll stop it breaking down, because these are going to get soft. There's also a very specific order that you want to put them in, because it's based on how long it cooks. You know, for instance, pepper and onion is going to cook a little quicker compared to something like a radish. Also, just don't cut them too thickly, or they're going to cook too slowly, and vice versa. If you cut everything too small, for some of the things like carrot or radish, they're going to cook too quickly. It's going to get mushy and soggy. You don't want that. So there, and we're cutting them in the order that we're going to put them in, basically. So some of this will go in last, and the final one is the bell pepper, because if you've ever had bell pepper, you don't want it cooked and overcooked. So look at the water. It's all that, you want that blood out, and that's simply because when blood cooks, well, it goes hard. You don't really want that consistency in the dish. Give it a good wash, and we're going to parboil these just quickly for about 10 minutes. Get them boiling, and then we're putting them back. We're taking the water off, and we're giving them a rinse. We're cleaning this down. We're removing things that are going to make the consistency of our sauce, the consistency of our galbi-jjim not quite right. As well as bits of bone, because when they cut it up, you can get bits of bone in there. Back in the pan, throw the sauce on, and this is the long part because we're going to take about 50 minutes to boil this down. Remember, we put a lot of water in there. If you want, you can add more water. This is up to you. I like a very salty, well, not salty, but I like a darker galbi compared to like a lighter one. I really want a rich taste in my vegetables and meat. After 50 minutes, we're throwing in our radish for another 20. And once again, if you feel like there's not enough water, throw a little bit of water in there. You can always adjust as we go. Once those carrots are in, we're going for another 10 minutes. So we're really cooking this for a long time. You can see it's getting darker and darker. At this point, if you want, this is the last chance you have to throw water in. You don't want to be putting any more water in after this, because you can always just cook this for longer, a little bit longer. But once we've got these ingredients in, with the peppers, you don't want to put water in again, because they're going to get overcooked. So there we go. You can see mine. I'm happy with the amount of water in there, and I'm happy because I know it's going to do. I've got the lid on. It's all going to cook, and you can see the water bubbling away. Perfect. It's exactly as I want. And then I'm mixing it up. You can see the meat there. Delicious. As always, adjust as you go. When you get towards the end, well, not this part, but earlier, add a little water if you think it's too salty. And if it's not salty enough, throw in a little bit more soy sauce. throw it in a bowl for this one with a little bit of rice, and you've got yourself a perfect dish. Delicious, look at that. Oh, can't wait to eat this. Oh, look. Which one first? Oh, you can already feel the meat. It's I checked it with the chopsticks. You can feel it's very soft. You can put your chopstick through it easily. That's usually a good sign. So look at that. Oh, easy. Oh. Let's just eat it off the bone. Yeah, that's really good. I'm always worried if it's going to be too salty. I taste the sauce, but the sauce is naturally quite salty, so you don't know if the meat's going to be too salty or what kind of flavor it's going to have, but it's got almost like a barbecue flavor. It's so good. It's soaked in all those juices, as well as the vegetable juices, right? So you got that sweet sort of brown sugar, but then everything else is added to it. The radish juices, it all mixes together. So let's actually try one of those radishes. Obviously at this point they're soft. Oh, that's to die for. You could serve that alone at a restaurant and it would be perfect. Slice little pieces of that radish off. Once again, everything's soaked. It's drawing all the moisture in. It's getting all of the liquid and putting it into that radish, and all the flavor goes in there too, that meat flavor. Oh, it's so good. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys had a great time. I cooked this for Chuseok, so I'm gonna give the rest to the family. And in the meantime, I hope you guys had a great Chuseok this past week. This video is gonna go up later in the week because I'm gonna be busy for the next few days. So in the meantime, cook well, spend time with your family, have a great time, and 안녕히 계세요. Thanks for watching.